I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is an open meeting of the Seward, Nebraska governing body. The city of Seward abides by the Nebraska Open Meetings Act in conducting business. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is displayed on the north wall of this meeting room facility as required. Disclosure of meeting recording process is posted in the meeting room. A participant sign-in sheet is available for use by any citizen addressing the council. Visitors shall approach the podium, state their name and address for the clerk's record, and are asked to limit remarks to 5 minutes. All remarks shall be directed to the mayor, who shall determine by whom any appropriate response shall be made. The city of Seward reserves the right to adjust the order of items on this agenda if necessary, and may elect to take action on any of the items listed. Please call the roll.
Wilken, Beck,
Here.
Camper,
Here.
Fritz,
Here.
Miller,
Here.
Singleton,
Here.
Schmidt,
Here.
Hand.
Here.
First item this evening is consideration of approval of draft minutes of September 20th, 2016.
Move.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Beck, Camper, Fritz, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, Hand. Motion carried.
Next item is the consent agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Beck, Camper, Fritz, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, Hand. Motion carried.
Next item, a consideration of membership agreement with Seward County Chamber and Development Partnership. I believe Jonathan Jank is here.
Thanks, Mayor.
Welcome.
Would you like me to state my name and
Yes,
address?
please.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jonathan Jank, 1129 Plainview Avenue. Here representing the Seward County Chamber and Development Partnership tonight. And the two documents are before you. These are similar agreements to what we've put before you in the past through Seward County Economic Development Corporation. Basically, we've changed names, dates on this. Nothing in regards to funding numbers have changed. This is the same that you've seen in the past. The difference for the city of Seward is that because we've combined the Chamber and Economic Development, we've combined those amounts from the last fiscal year for this fiscal year. So we appreciate your consideration and support. To quickly go into detail, the membership agreement is an agreement between the three municipalities and the county to agree that they're going to help support and fund the partnership. And then the actual funding agreement is the individual agreement between the partnership and the city of Seward, what your expectations are of us for the next fiscal year. And so I believe the first one is the membership agreement that's before you.
Ellen, as the representative from the council, did you have anything you wanted to add?
I would just want to say that Jonathan has done a great job pulling this all together. It's a tremendous amount of work, a lot of moving parts in terms of creating bank accounts and agreements and just simple things like insurance, getting the audit done and just getting the books in proper order has taken a very long time, and he's worked very hard. And as you see by his reports, he's still doing quite a bit on economic development, not only for city of Seward, but for the county as well. So I think as we go into this next year, we'll actually be able to see how this combined entity moves us forward in terms of economic development and in helping our businesses that are already here prosper and grow. So I would appreciate everybody's support on this for one more year. Of course, every year we want to take a look at it and see if it still is serving the needs of the city and go from there. But I think this will be a first full year of good data for us to look at.
Thank you. Anyone else from the council have any questions or comments? If not, I would entertain a motion, and this is for the consideration of membership agreement with the Seward County Chamber and Development Partnership.
Move for approval.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Beck, Camper, Fritz, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, Hand. Motion carried.
And the next item is consideration of the funding agreement with Jonathan touched on, again with the Seward County Chamber and Development Partnership. Do you have anything to add? Okay. Any questions or comments from the council on this item?
Move to approve the funding agreement.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Backham, Fritz, Miller, single motion in hands, motion carried.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Next item is consideration for awarding contract for replacement of reverse osmosis membranes. I believe Tim Richtig is here to answer any questions. Or did you want to say a few words first?
We put the RO membranes out for bids and received 2 companies that bid on them. Most of the companies didn't bid on them because Consolidated that bid on them is a big factory in Omaha, and that's where they get the membranes from, so they knew they couldn't compete with them, so we decided, we made a decision on which membranes we wanted to go with, and I think you might have a copy of that.
Thank you.
Any questions on the membranes or something?
Any questions or comments for Tim?
I'll just say a couple things, I guess, real quick. As Tim showed in here, there's some real energy savings by going with these new filters. They have larger spacing and things like that, so it allows the pumps not to work as hard to push that water through. And so the savings on that per year are 15,000, well, estimated now.
Estimated.
We'll never know until we get it through the first year, but, and so really they're gonna pay for themselves over the next 10 years. So that's the one we wanna go with. We had shown that we were gonna trade in all the membranes. I don't know that we're gonna do that right now. And because Tim's got an idea on being able to build another set kind of next to him that'll, anyway, why don't you talk about that? This is really interesting.
We discharge on average about 200,000 gallons per day to the stream, and that's what they call a concentrate. That's the really hard minerals and salts and stuff like that. And if we would build a skid, I've been working with the company, and take that concentrate and run it through another set of filters, we could reduce that by 50%. So that's talking a lot of water in a year. We're probably talking about 37 million gallons a year. So there'd be some major savings there, and then that water, that would, it'd be the concentrate would be 100,000 gallons by a day going to the stream, and then the other 100,000 would go right back into our well water, or finished water, so that'd be a big savings, and especially on water usage, so.
So the idea then is to use some of these membranes that we were gonna trade in to do that system, and you know, water is just such a precious commodity. If we can figure out a way to save some of that waste that we're having to waste now.
So then, then I could take that to like the DNR or the NRD and see what they have for grant money, and might pay for a big portion of that too, because they have a grant money on these filters of 37,000, so.
Right, we're still getting that grant from the NRD for 37.5 to help pay for these. So that's in addition to this.
So the energy savings would pay for that additional amount we would pay for the film tech membrane versus the hydronautics filters. So within probably 4 years, it'd make up for that difference. And even more, that's just with one skid. If we have to kick on the second skid like we have this year because of the dry climate, then the savings would even increase more. But those savings that they had on there just for one skid.
Thanks, Tim. Any other questions or comments?
Where'd this fall in from budget-wise on the bids? I was gonna look and I didn't.
Yeah, we had budgeted 150, less the 37.5, so we're just a little bit over, but we didn't budget that much for savings either,
Okay.
so we're okay.
Any other questions or comments? Otherwise, entertain a motion to award the contract for replacement of reverse osmosis membrane.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Backham, Fritz, Miller, single motion in hands, motion carried.
Next item is the city administrator's report.
I'll see if I can drag this out for a while. Just kidding.
Knock yourself out.
Just my reports in your packet. I went to the Nebraska Municipalities, the League annual conference a couple weeks ago in Kearney. One of the things they talked a lot about was policing in this day and age, and because there's so many issues with policing. So I had the chief and the assistant chief come over to that meeting, and they sat through several of the sessions, and it was just really interesting that the talking about how policing is going in this country right now and what we can do to help our officers and things like that. So that was really good. We've been spending quite a bit of time just on economic development stuff, working with Jonathan on several things. the mayor and I had a conference call today about the downtown redevelopment grant that we submitted an application for, and we're a finalist for that, and so they're gonna be coming out in a couple weeks to EDS to do a walkthrough with us, but that sounds very positive on that. But we've had a couple opportunities come up recently that we're working on, so.
Any,
All in all, good stuff.
yeah, any questions or comments from Bruce? You good? Alright, and I entertain a motion to accept the city administrator's report.
Second.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. We display the votes.
In favor, Beck, Campbell, Fritz, Miller, Seward, Schmidt, Haynes, motion carries.
Alright, are there any future requests for council agenda items or administrative action? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item. Announcement of upcoming events, November 26, 2016, from 1 to 3 p.m. is the Human Sled Race, which is located at 4th and South Street, west to 5th Street, north on 5th Street, ending at the alley. And then on November 26th, also at 5:30 p.m. is the annual holiday lighted parade, and that is at 1st and Seward Street, west to 13th Street. Was there any other announcements? I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
In favor, Beck, Campbell, Fritz, Miller, Seward, Schmidt, Haynes, motion carries.
Oh, Sunday. Oh yeah, Mayor's Fun Run is this Sunday.